let's begin with chapter number 7 from your political science book of grade 12, and the name of the chapter is the executive. So before we get in detail with this chapter, we have to first recall what is the meaning of this term executive. And as we know that the government works through its three branches, or you can say the three organs of the government is the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So the work of the legislature is to make the law, and the work of the executive is to execute the law. So here we are going to understand what is the meaning and how it actually works throughout the country. So the term executive has been defined both in the broader and narrower context. In the broader sense, it is taken to mean all the functionaries, political leaders, ministers, and permanent, you can say, officers, political civil servants who are concerned with the executive law are running the administration. But in narrow context, we mean that the executive head only, that is the political leader who is the head of the government department and formulates the policies only. So here we are going to understand that executive does not mean only a single person or the head of the executive state we are talking about. Okay, all the political leaders, the ministers, the civil servants, whoever is helping in applying the law, that is only we are saying that they are the executive. They are exercising or executing the law throughout the country. So definitions we are having, you can see J.W. Garner is there, Rittel is there, and Gilchrist is there. So number 1 is perfect for you all. You can go for this definition. Next is two parts of the executive. One is the political executive and the other is the permanent executive. Those are called the civil servants. Now these political executives are the executives who are elected by the people, and from the elected members, few are getting selected as the members of the cabinet and they are becoming the political executive. But the permanent executives are those like the civil servants, those who are going through different IAS, IPS examinations, and you can say that they are becoming high ranked officers. They are permanent, they are not getting removed, but these political executives are getting removed after 5 years usually. Next, the non-political or the permanent executive consists of the civil servants from the lowest to the highest level who carry out our day-to-day administrative works of the government department. Now, what are the main points of difference between the political executive, that is the minister, and the permanent executive, that is the civil servant in India? So what is the difference between these two executives, like the ministers and the civil servants? Political character of minister and non-political character of the civil servant. The members of the political executive are political leaders. They are either the elected representatives of the people or the nominated of the or nominees of the head of the state. The civil servants are non-political in the sense that the people who are, or you can say, they do not take active part in the political parties or politics. They are not member of political parties and they are not involved in struggle of political power. Okay, they are only performing their duty, their responsibility. Political formulation is the function of political executive. Okay, political formulation or decision making are the two primary responsibilities of the political executive. The permanent executive or the civil servant only advises and helps the political executive by the presentation of all possible alternative policies, okay, or giving different kind of taking different kind of responsibilities and applying the policies which is taken by the parliament. Political executive is responsible and accountable to the people, as because they are directly getting elected by the people. So these political executives are responsible and accountable. They are answerable to the people, because after every 5 years they will try to come back. So they have to remain answerable, they have to remain accountable. Okay, but the civil servants in that sense, they are not responsible. Okay, they are not responsible, accountable to the people. They don't remain accountable. They are doing the job according to their credibility. They are having their efficient. They got the job after cracking so many exams, so many levels of the exam. Okay, political executive consists of amateurs, and you can say that the civil servants are experts. Okay, next is short term or political executive, and fixed term or long term for the civil servants. Civil servants usually retire at the age of 60, whereas you can say political executives are coming back after 5 years, so their tenure is very short. Function of the executive: first of all, the function is policy making. Okay, modern welfare state has to carry out a large number of tasks for securing in the social, economical, and cultural development of the people. It has to formulate policies, prepare short term and long term plans, and then implement these. Next is number 2, implementation of policies and enforcement of laws. The principal function of the executive is to enforce laws as formulated by the legislature and to maintain law and order in the state. Next is appointment making functions. All the major appointments are made by the chief executive. As an example, the President of India appoints the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. Treaty making functions. It is the responsibility of the executive to decide as to which treaties are to be signed with which other countries. The executive negotiates the treaties in accordance to the procedure defined by international law and directs and you can say dictates to the state or the constitution of the state. Defense, war, and peace function. Only one of the key function of the state is to defend and preserve the unity and integrity of the country and protect it in case of a foreign aggression or war. It is the responsibility of the executive to undertake its function. Okay, to organize military for the defense of the state, to prepare for the fight, the war if it's being necessary, and to negotiate and sign peace settlement after every war are the functions performed by the executive. Other than that, foreign policy making and conduct of a foreign relationship with other countries. Functions relating to law making, I told you just now. Law making under the system of delegated legislature, as the legislature will delegate them some law making part, they can execute it. Not only that, financial functions are also undertaken by them. Okay, like alone the legislature is not able to handle all this financial matter. Executive also takes part in this kind of decision making. Next is, what is civil service? We need to understand this. The term bureaucracy and civil service are used as synonyms, as these refer to all the civil servants and who carry out all the associated work with running the administration of the government. Narrow and broad sense. In terms of civil service, the term bureaucracy is used in the narrow sense to denote those important public servants who occupy higher level position in the administrative hierarchy and perform planning, coordination, supervision, and control functions. In the broad sense, it refers to all the permanent employees of the government, right from the peons and clerks to the top level officers, secretariats, and the chief secretary. Okay, so we can say that the permanent employees Okay, permanent employees who are doing the job from each level, not only the high rank bureaucrats only, the lower level clerks and peons are also getting the involved in the civil service. What are the important features? Permanent characteristics. As you know, once the job they are holding is permanent, once they'll get 60, that time only they are going to retire. Usually in 60 everybody retires from the government job. Hierarchical structure, that means at the top you are going to have one leader or one head of the office, and below that they are going to have somebody who will be like 5 to 10 people working under them, again 5 to 10 people under them. So it is like going on in a hierarchical base. At the lower level there are more people working, and slowly as they will move up according to the designation, we will find that there is only at the top there is only one person who is holding much more power, sitting at the top. Next is professional, trained and expert class. The civil servants constitute the educated and professionally trained class of experts which help the political executive to carry out their functions. Okay, so next is what are the functions and role of the civil servants. They implement the government policies and laws, rule the policy formulation and running the day-to-day administration, advisory function, okay, role of the legislature work, semi-judiciary work. Semi-judiciary, that means they try to settle disputes like the permit, license, tax. Okay, all these are getting settled by the civil servants. Record keeping is done. Hopefully you understood till this much. Thank you.